This week, we're trying Cathay Pacific's next generation brand new Aria suite on a flight from Hong Kong to Beijing. Is this the new best business class seat in the world? Let's find out. But of course, this is also flight formula, so we'll go on a few tangents along the way. Have you ever wondered about in-flight Wi-Fi, those electrical outlets on planes, how much money podcasts can make? Well, we'll get into all of that too.
Good morning from Hong Kong Airport. Flying to Beijing today. Flying the new Aria suites, or at least we should be. When I booked it, it was Aria suites, but you never know. It's about 3.5 hour flight to Beijing. Flying business class, so obviously can get access to the, 4 different One World business class lounges in Hong Kong, but I've also got a Qantas Platinum card, so I'll be checking out the first class lounges today. Speaking of, I think there's first class check-in, which I technically can use. Let's go do that. I got to drop a bag. Sorry, what was this?
The China visa.
I don't need it. It's visa free. Australia.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's new. It's a new thing, I think. It's like 6 months ago.
Thank you, sir. Boarding gate is not assigned. Please check in the lounge later and then one check-in luggage to Beijing.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye. That might be the nicest check-in experience I've ever had. They don't have conveyors or anything. You just stand at a little desk and then they take the bags away. I guess everyone flying first class, the weight isn't a problem, so they just take your bags away. I don't know. Anyway, security time. Say what you will about China, Hong Kong, but that face scanning tech is wild. You just pull up at the gate, you don't have to get your passport out or anything, it just scans your face and then lets you through. It probably falls under the thing of, I don't want to live here, but I quite like transiting here. We've got like a magic show going on. Anyway, I'm going to head to the Pier First Class Lounge. I read that it's the best online, the best food. The old me probably would have lounge hopped and went to a whole bunch of them. I'm at the end of a trip. I'm tired. I just want breakfast. That security process too was the simplest thing ever. There was not a single person in the queue. Laptops stay in, all technology stays in your bag. And my backpack got stopped. My backpack got shoved off to the right and I was thinking, oh boy, they want to look at something. I've got like a power bank, thinking is it that? Or is it just like all my cameras and wires? It's usually something like that. I'd say I have like a 90% hit rate at getting stopped. But no, turns out I was just the idiot here because I just didn't drink all the water in my water bottle. And he was like, water. And I was like, oh, can I drink it? And he's like, yeah. I drank the water out of the water bottle and then I went to give it back to him because I thought like he's gonna have to run the bag through the scanner again. And he was just like, nah, all good. But even the extra stop only took 20 seconds. I think I can cement it now. This is well and truly my favorite airport in the world. Like Singapore airport, I hate the carpet. I hate all the different terminal layouts. Dubai again, too many different terminals. You don't actually have a very good view of the planes, whereas this airport is incredible for viewing the planes. This airport's got the Sky Bridge as well, which is incredible. It's just, if you guys can think of an actual airport that's better than Hong Kong Airport, like really, let me know in the comments down below. But I guess the only thing to knock it on is the amount of walking that you may have to do between gates. But they have walker-lators. Yeah, that's what they're called. And like, come on, just walk. It's not, it's exercise. We like exercise. Cathay profit up 1% on strong travel demand. It's like a ridiculously nice living room. That's the vibe.
I've been pregnant for a very long time, but my baby is finally born. This is what Vivian Lowe, Cathay Pacific's head of customer experience and design, said when presenting the new Aria suite back in October of 2024. This is a wild statement. I've never met this woman, but I already like her. Anyway, Aria is Cathay's new next generation cabin design. It's been in development since 2018 and has finally started rolling out on their 777s in late 2024. It's part of Cathay's modernization efforts and a big part of their aspiration to become the world's best premium airline. This Aria suite is technologically a cutting edge design, but the actual layout is similar to the reverse herringbone seats that they've had since 2010. Cathay has faced significant headwinds since around the start of the pandemic. They were hit incredibly hard by China and Hong Kong's strict quarantine rules, but have since come back to full strength, full service. I went over this in my last Cathay video, but the whole China taking more control over Hong Kong situation has put Cathay into a fairly precarious position. Air China has acquired a significant stake in the airline, and there has been some speculation that they might just move to acquire the whole thing. Overall, it does look like now, with this modernization effort and passenger numbers picking up again, this might not be the case. I personally find the more that I fly Cathay, the more that I like them, so let's just hope that things don't change too much.
Alright, let's go catch a flight.
Right, I've just looked up that registration, BKQH. It's the third one that got retrofit with Aria suites, so I think we're good. I was a little bit stressed that they'd swap it out because they've just started flying them to London daily. So I guess the three 777s can do London daily and Beijing daily. I don't know.
Thank you. The just stare at the camera thing is creepy and crazy. Kind of like it though. Hello. Thank you. Oh, sorry, where are you? There you go.
Help.
Oh, really? Yeah, no worries.
Sorry about that.
How you fine? First impressions are good. This screen is ridiculous. I really like the UI. Kind of beautiful design. You got like the timeline of the flight. We got Hong Kong, Beijing, arriving in 0 minutes. Obviously that needs to be updated, but the Wi-Fi will start working, and then there'll be food, and then they're telling us to shop. Just a beautiful way of laying it out, really. Otherwise the screen is huge. High res as well, 4K. I read online that it's a 24-inch screen, and I was thinking that's not that big. It's an arm's length away, and it's about as big as you'd want it. You wouldn't want it to be much bigger. That's what she said. Yeah, great screen. At least that's the thought initially.
It's our cafe signature.
Cafe signature drink with kiwi and coconut. It's thick. That is thick, but kiwi and coconut. We're just waiting to take off now. Just pulled up the cameras, and yeah, it looks like we've only got forward and downward. No tail cam. This is a 777, of course. To be fair, surprisingly high res for the downward cam. Really got a view of the, I don't know what that is there, the light maybe, taxi light, and then forward cam. Yeah, that's the runway. We're just waiting to line up, I guess. Takeoff time. Alright, we're just taking off for like 20,000 feet. Wi-Fi has just been turned on, so let's give it a go. Start browsing. I'm not sure how much it costs. I'm not sure. It's free if you're in business class. Okay, here we go. Messaging. Okay, so you can pay for like messaging, a 1 hour pass, flight pass. $12.95. That's not too bad. Obviously on a flight like this, I wouldn't pay for it, but if you're on like a 12-hour flight to Europe or something and it was still $12.95, but $12.95 is not too bad. It's not too expensive. I flew Qatar on one of their flights that didn't have Starlink, but it had their older satellite Wi-Fi, and that was still really, really good, like decent speed, and it was $8 for the whole flight, which I just thought is like an actually good price. But anyway, okay, first and business class passengers and Cathay Diamond members get complimentary Wi-Fi access to 19K. I should have remembered that. All right, I'm connected. Let's hit a speed test. Is it actually any good? I think she just actually unlocked the door there. We've got a door, but first, the internet. Ping is atrocious, of course. This is not Starlink. Okay, it just fails. It just doesn't work.
So I just go off and ramble for a bit here, and whilst I couldn't get a speed test to work, I can tell you that according to people online, you can get speeds of around 4 to 10 megabits a second down. It's definitely usable, and you can almost just about watch YouTube videos here. You can also check out Wine Tracker at flightformula.com.
Oh, you're gonna sponsor my content some more, baby?
Either way, on the back end, on the 777s, Cathay is using GoGo's 2Ku technology. This uses SES and Intelsat's geostationary satellites. The satellite internet business is chaotic. You've got GoGo and then a bunch of other different companies that have their own receivers and sell the service, but there's not actually that many satellites up there. They cost a lot of money to launch, at least if we ignore Starlink. Speaking of Starlink, all of these companies are now consolidating due to the competition. GoGo's commercial passenger internet business was sold to Intelsat, which was then acquired by SES, so it's all one big company, really. I want to do a deep dive into all of this space internet stuff one day in a video, so make sure you subscribe for that. But in short, Cathay's Wi-Fi,
It's free. It's semi-usable. Prices didn't seem too ridiculous either if you're not flying in business class. All right, I'm in the front lav now. The cockpit is just there. Actually, that was just a mirror of me, wasn't it? It's there. It's just there. Overall, I really like the design they got going on here. It's not a huge lavatory. I mean, it's not tiny either, but it's just really nice. Really nice design throughout all of it, throughout the Cathay lounges, throughout the plane. I like the seats. I like the colors. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. We've got some Bamford body lotion and hand wash here, as well as some antiseptic hand gel. But you also have soap here, so I don't know. There's a lot of hand cleaning options. Otherwise, we've got paper towels and tissues. Toilet paper down there. Very standard. Nothing super special. I do really like this though. We've got the foot pedal bin. I like that a lot. I like the foot pedal. Anyway, that's the toilet. Nothing super special, but it is quite nice. Lunch is here. All in a single tray. Looking alright. We've got the hamon starter. Little salad with some ham. Got the main. I won't pick it up. Honestly, it looks a little bit like a microwave meal, but we'll see how it tastes. Incredible. We got garlic bread. Lovely. That ham is making me miss Spain. All the hamon in Madrid. All around quite microwave mealy. The sauce was quite artificial tasting, I guess. Beef was okay. Rice was fine. Broccoli was cooked fine. Not incredible, but not inedible or anything. Garlic bread's definitely the best bit. Ice cream's good. It's Haagen-Dazs. The famous Danish ice cream. No, none of that, right? Isn't it not even a European brand? Wasn't it created by like an American guy or something? Lunch is done. Lunch was fine. Let's talk about the seat. Let's talk about some of the tech going on here. Overall, first up with the seat, got to say the design is excellent. I like the colors. I like the layout. It's 1-2-1 herringbone, very much what Cathay has had for the last 20 years or something. But it's just a nice sort of evolution on that design. The design. The design of the actual seat is quite nice, but I also like the design of the plane, or what they've done generally with the common layout. The bulkhead walls at the front, they got like a nice paneling on them. They got the nice Cathay logo. I got a shot of it just before I went to the toilet. They've got like art hanging up at the front, which I mean is one of those things that it barely weighs anything, but it just really like adds to the overall feel of the plane. It just makes it feel like a really nice, relaxing space. I really like the design overall of this entire layout, not just the seat itself. But the seat is good. First big thing, obviously, we've got a door. It opens and closes. It doesn't close all the way. There is a slight gap, and there is the emergency lever. Secondly, we've got this armrest thing down here, which goes up and down. It's a little bit, mine's not right, I think, but you can sort of bring it forward. It's kind of weird. You can bring it forward like that, so that I guess when you're in bed mode, you've got a bit more space this side. Or you can bring it back up, and then it kind of... Okay. That was, it was stuck in the downward position when I got on board. And then it took like quite a bit of an effort to get it up. That's what she said. And now it's like stuck in this forward position. And I can't bring it back up. I don't know. That's not looking good because I think this plane was the third one to get refit. So this seat is only like a month or two old. So yeah, not looking good in terms of reliability on that mechanism at least. But otherwise, yep, that's that. Mine's stuffed. Got the door, got that. Now over here we've got a nice lamp design and then a little storage cubby in there with the headphones. That's fine. That's just the remote for the TV. Very standard stuff. I do like that it just kind of says the flight number, time left just up there. I mean, you're barely ever going to use it just because the screen is easily within arm's reach. You come across here, we've got this slide out, tiny bit of storage down there. I mean, it's probably good for a phone or a passport or something. There is wireless charging there. So I guess we could start to get into the tech a little bit here. It is a little bit hard to find the spot. That's what she said. It'd be nice if they had some sort of way of aligning it a bit better, like a dip in the table or something. Because I think it's about there. It should be about there. I did have it work a second ago. There we go. So it's a little bit hard to find, but you can wirelessly charge your phone there. Underneath the table, we got this tiny screen here that just very casually tells you how much flight time we've got left. Also controls your seat. I quite like the look of that, and I can imagine it's quite nice during like a night flight. You don't want to turn a bright screen on to tell you how long you've got left or how long you've been like sleeping. Tap that and get a very nice little time remaining screen. I like that. I like that a lot. That does mean we've got 3 screens in this suite, which is a lot. Next up down here, we've got a lot of charging. There's a USB-A, USB-C, and another USB-C fast charging port, and then like a normal power plug. I'm not sure what the difference is between the 2 USB-C ports. We're gonna have to get the tester onto them, but there's a lot of charging options here. I like to see that. The wireless charger, the 2 USB-Cs, the fast charging USB-C, and then a USB-A. You can charge way too many phones. I mean, personally, I actually would use all this because I've got like 2 cameras, 2 phones here overnight. I might actually use all 3. For most people, this is probably overkill, but overkill is better than underkill. I guess to finish off the seat before getting into those chargers, there's another storage bin down here, which is just nice. The tray table comes down like this. Fairly solid, not the biggest tray table in the world, but by no means a small tray table. You could easily fit a 16-inch laptop here. They do have this here, which I think is like a sort of tablet holder. But, I mean, look at this, right? If I take this phone, iPhone 13, pretty thin. It's got a cover on it, but it's pretty thin. It's too thin of a slot for an iPhone 13, which is already like a pretty slim phone. If we take off the case, which I mean is a bit ridiculous, come on guys, it does just fit. iPads aren't that much thinner than an iPhone 13, right? So, I don't know, I feel like they should have just made that a little bit thicker, a little bit wider. I don't know, just seems like a bit of a design flaw there, at least. Otherwise, tray table, it's tray table. Let's get a test run of these USB ports though, because I am interested. Alright, USB-A first. So, on the A, we're getting 7.5 watts, 7 watts. It's like a 7.5 watt charger, 7 watt charger. Respectable. It'll charge your phone reasonably. It's not fast charging, but it's not slow charging. What are we getting on the USB-C? Alright, we're getting... Jeez, okay. On the top USB-C, so this one isn't the fast charger, we're getting 25 watts. And then on the 60 watt one, it says 60 watt on the plug. This one, we're also getting 25 watts. So both of them are 25 watt chargers. My phone can only charge at 25 watt. So yeah, my MacBook can charge up to, I think, 100 watts. So MacBook, let's see. What are we getting on the MacBook here? 43, 47, 58, 59. I'm going to say they're not lying when they said 60 watt there. Let's try the second USB-C port. 33, 48, 50. What? Either way, both of those USB-C chargers are fast. That is impressive. Incredible. incredible charging on Cathay.
This suite has the best charging I've ever seen on a plane. But it got me thinking, it reminded me of this. This was a tweet that went slightly viral a few months ago, and apart from the bit where he's wondering if a plane's APU could power that many devices, in-flight planes don't have their APUs on, they use the engines to generate electricity, it still raises an interesting question. 60-watt charging is quite a lot. If everybody plugged in at once, would the plane be able to support it? Well, let's try and figure this out. I'm going to talk specifically about the 777 here, but all of this is applicable to most modern day passenger jets, excluding the Dreamliners. That can be for another day. Firstly, a Boeing 777 has 6 different sources of electrical power. There's the APU in the tail. This is a little jet engine generator that's generally only used on the ground when there's no ground power. There are 2 big engine-driven generators, one on each engine that normally supply power during the flight. There's 2 smaller backup generators, again, one on each engine. These automatically kick in if the big generators have any issues. And then there's the RAT, the ram air turbine. This drops down from the fuselage in dire emergencies and provides enough power to keep the primary flight controls and enough of the avionics alive to land the plane. So those 2 big engine generators, or as they're otherwise called, engine-driven integrated drive generators, IDGs. Each IDG is rated at 120 kilovolt amps. Without getting too nerdy here, I'm going to assume a power factor of around 80 to 85% at max draw. And so each of these IDGs can output about 100 kilowatts. And we have 2 of them. So while flying, a 777 has about 200 kilowatts of available power at peak load. For reference here, and if you're not American, then the kettle in your house might draw 2 kilowatt, while an electric car at a fast charging station can draw upwards of 350 kilowatts. And so those USB-C ports, if all 361 seats on this 777 were occupied and everybody tried to charge their laptops at the same time, we'd be looking at 21,660 watts, or 21.6 kilowatts. This is just over 10% of the available power. This is not a small amount of power, but it's not a huge proportion either. Could it theoretically affect anything? How much power is generally used by the rest of the plane? Well, the flight systems and the avionics, this includes the flight deck displays, the avionics computers, comms and navigation equipment, they generally only draw a few kilowatt during normal operations. So let's put 5 kilowatt down here for simplicity's sake. Lighting, the general cabin lights, and well, those personal reading lights, if they were all on at max brightness, then that could be another 3 kilowatt, especially if they're not LEDs. Galley equipment, the ovens, coffee machines, boilers, chillers, when these things are pinging, when they're at full power, they draw a lot of power. And this is a big one. They can peak at around 30 to 50 kilowatt. So let's just say 50 kilowatt for our calculations. Now, the environmental control systems, think the cabin pressurization and the air conditioning, these are mostly driven by bleed air from the engines and are not primarily electrically driven. Electricity is still used here to power some pumps and some of the fans, but this is in the region of another 5 kilowatts. There are other systems such as fuel pumps, hydraulics, some of the anti-icing, and the vacuum flush systems for the toilets. And again, this would all total up to around another 5 kilowatts during typical flight. So we're at about 68 kilowatt for everything that you don't directly interact with on the plane. But what about that stuff? The in-flight entertainment, those USB power outlets, the standard AC sockets that you can plug into. Well, a super modern, fancy in-flight entertainment screen is basically an Android tablet, so we're looking here at a max power draw of no more than about 100 watts. If we times this by 361 seats, we might get to 36 kilowatts. If everybody plugs into that 60 watt charger, we get another 21. And then if everybody also plugs into the traditional AC outlets as well and draws another 100 watts, then we're getting another 36 kilowatts of power draw. And so, if by some miracle we have a full plane full of power-hungry tech bros charging their devices, and all of those ovens in the galley are set to full power, then we're still only just reaching 161 kilowatts of power, well within the theoretical 200 kilowatts available by those IDGs. That being said, a Boeing engineer did reply to that original tweet, and I won't go over it all, but essentially each USB port is integrated into the aircraft's power distribution network, and it's managed by a smart power controller. This controller will monitor the total current draw and automatically reduce power to those individual ports if the current draw gets too high. So, This has probably never been a thing that you've ever been concerned about, but don't worry about plugging in your laptop. You're not going to bring down the plane.
Alright, so final bit of tech, the screen. I won't go through like the movies or the TV shows that much, just because they change. They've got full seasons of things. I'll just generally give them the thumbs up on the movies and the TV shows. They've got a pretty good selection. Let's talk about the features. Let's talk about the new stuff. Bluetooth headphones. I love to see it. It was pretty easy to connect to them. I got my Bose connected to the system. It's one of those things, it's incredible for about 2 minutes and then you just go, why have we not had this forever? Nice to have. The second big feature here, and this one's really cool, and I can't believe that we haven't seen this with other airlines yet. I guess this is something that other airlines are going to copy. Tap this, and it tells you which lavatories are available. It's got where my seat is, and then it's got which lavatories are available. And all 3 are available right now. I guess more generally, it's a super responsive, nice screen. Scrolls really nice when you go to the map view, and it's super responsive. The new Emirates A350, which I tried on this trip, is the same in that it's just got this crazy responsive, super huge screen. Basically, it's the future. I could see everyone ending up like this in probably 5 years. Overall, super nice seat in terms of tech and everything, and just overall design too. I guess actually bed mode. We should try that, right? Yeah, not bad. Probably not the best either. Probably should have taken my shoes off for this, but yeah, that footwell could be a little bit tight, but you know what? The overall length is good. It's got decent shoulder width, to be honest. Like, you can kind of go this way, you can kind of go that way. Yeah, there's actually like tons of knee room if you lay down on your right. If you lay on your left, it's not too bad, but you're probably better off on the left side of the plane, not the right side of the plane. I've got enough headroom when I'm sort of laying with my feet touching the end of the bed. And there's enough footwell space that I can just clear my knees. Because sometimes you're so far down that you end up not being able to sort of lift your knees up like this. That's kind of like a big tell in my books if they're sort of stuffing you in too much, whereas this one I could kind of sit with my knees up, which I like, and it just kind of makes it feel a little bit less claustrophobic, I guess. Yeah, look, hard to say without actually sleeping in it, but I reckon I could sleep in it. I'm gonna have to come back and actually try this on a long flight. Maybe we'll go back to Europe when it's actually not cold. Do Hong Kong to, I don't know, London or something. Overall, a very comfortable seat. Sweet. So they're like running a seminar on the new seats behind me. I think it's still all pretty new for all of the cabin crew. And yeah, she just explained how that armrest was working to another one of the cabin crew who was just sitting there. They're all amazed with it. It is pretty nice.
Ever since I started doing these videos and flying on all of these different airlines, one of my sort of favorite hobbies is to just scroll through their in-flight entertainment, seeing what sort of strange things they may have hidden in there. And well, Cathay, someone at Cathay is a business nerd. Randomly, as I'm scrolling through all the albums, I found this. This is the Acquired podcast. It's a fairly niche, esoteric podcast that covers the stories behind some of the world's greatest companies. The episodes are 3 to 4 hours long. They go into tons of details. It's amazing if you're a business nerd, but I'm not here to just give you podcast recommendations. I want to talk about the rather incredible business of the actual podcast. Acquired is a successful podcast. They state on their website that they're getting around 1 million unique listeners per episode, but for reference, on the Spotify top charts, they're literally at the bottom of the list. They're coming in at number 100. Despite this, they're still making an absolute ton of money. I was quite honestly blown away. They not only say how much their ads cost on their website, it's also just shocking how much they're able to charge. For a 4-episode mid-roll sponsorship deal, they're charging $1 million. And if you want to be a presenting sponsor, that'll be $1.5 million. They're currently fitting in 3 mid-roll sponsors and 1 presenting sponsor per episode. And this means that over that 4-episode run, they're bringing in $4.5 million or $1.125 million per episode. And just to add context here, this means they're making over $1 per listener, and this is ludicrous amounts of money in the media world. Just to do some comparison, and we won't talk about CPMs or RPMs here, if you watch a YouTube short, the amount a creator makes per view will be something like 1/100th of a cent. If you watch a 20 to 30 minute YouTube video, the creator will make anywhere in the region of 1/2 cent up to maybe 2 cents per view, depending on the video topic and a bunch of other stuff. And well, for normal podcasts, I've never made one, but from what I can find online, a good ad rate might be in the region of $50 per 1,000 listeners. You might squeeze in 4 ads per podcast, and so per listener, a good podcast might be able to generate 20 cents per listener. So how and why in the world is Acquired able to charge 5 times more per listener than your standard run-of-the-mill podcast? Well, it all comes down to who is listening, who you are marketing to. On their website, they state that they have the most valuable and entrepreneurial audience in the world. From an audience survey they did in November of 2024, they found that 35% of their listeners are C-level or VP level executives, 76% of them work in technology, finance, or investing. So not only does this audience have money, they also control huge amounts of business spend, and hence having their attention is incredibly valuable. Most standard people, even rich people, might at max be deciding where to spend tens of thousands of dollars per year on consumer products and services. But these big dogs, these listeners, are potentially the decision makers behind millions or tens of millions of dollars worth of business spend. If one of these sponsors can convince 10 businesses to switch their services and sign a multi-million-dollar contract, then that $1 million for a 4-episode ad slot becomes a comparatively cheap marketing expense. I don't really have some grand message here apart from just I'm shocked at how much they can charge, and I guess I'm really hoping that some of you guys are C-level execs and that I can maybe one day land a JP Morgan sponsorship. Anyway, let's go and get to Beijing. I'm glad that Vivian Lowe finally birthed this thing. This seat is really, really, really good. It's definitely an evolution of Cathay's previous business class design, but that's not a bad thing. The seat is great, but the technology is outstanding. This is the best tech that I've seen on any plane ever, period. So if this is what Cathay's got for the next 15 years, then they will continue to be one of the world's best airlines. Anyway, that's about it. Make sure you go check out flightformula.com. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Simon? Is that Simon?
What's Simon?